but amazing that they have to really get together and understand each other. And it's also, I've also spoken to a conductor about opera conducting, and you've mentioned now that you've also conducted an opera. But there you also
I conducted 3 operas until now.
Really?
Yeah, I had the opportunity.
Amazing. Yes. But now you have to now also connect with the singers, with the soloists as well.
Absolutely. In the opera, in the best scenario, we can rehearse with the singers several days without orchestra. Just singers and piano to so to work on refinements on every word, on tempos, on every aspect that the singer is already ready for the stage, and also on the direction, on the regie, and on the expression of the movement, so to say. This is a very important period of rehearsal for the conductor. If the orchestra knows the piece well, then normally we get not so many rehearsals, sometimes just one, and then straight into the concert or straight into the performance. Or we could rehearse maybe from 1 to 3 weeks with the orchestra if the piece is very hard and new. And of course, the conductor has the goal to make to the orchestra clear what the singers will sing, even if the singers are not there. I mean, especially when they are not there. Sometimes singing by himself, sometimes marking the words, sometimes, explaining what it's about. Sometimes, I mean, it should be every time actually, but the conductor also has to know very well the direction and the regie in order to explain to the orchestra why we need more time, why we need less time, why we have to play faster, why we have to play slower, how much time do we have, why we are doing this cut, because operas normally in every house has its own cuts and its own because of the scenery, it has its own version, so to say, and this is the big responsibility for a conductor, to make the orchestra know that, because no one will read some technical protocol or the score of the conductor to understand why we are doing this and that. And after that, the singers come into play after they learned very very well the regie, the scenery, and we unite again, and then we can work on balance, because again the orchestra sometimes has to be predominant and or dominant, and the most of the time has to take a big care of a singer. The singer has to make himself absolutely clear in every word, in every situation. It could be that he sings very high or very low. The orchestra has to be every time under or just supporting the singer, and not forcing, or as we say, killing the singer, killing his voice. So this is also a great and hard work. It's a great and hard work. You work in a position of the conductor like a sound engineer. You are the only one responsible, and except of the help of the assistant, if you have one, that could tell you how does it sound, and then you have to, in the same moment, to find the solutions and to know to whom to ask to play softer but the problem is also that this is one thing to ask, and the second thing is if it's really possible, and if it's not, because play softer sometimes is much more difficult for the instruments which are using wind. For the wind instrument, it's much more difficult than playing loud.
I see.
And in the loud, to play loud, of course, you need more force and more brief support, but this is not necessarily harder than playing softer. And this is a big art to to find just the right balance between the singer and the orchestra. Yeah, it's it's such a fun work.
Yeah, but